So Tsavo is truly an incredible place. It's huge. It's 22,000 square kilometers. That's just the protected area, let alone the dispersal areas outside. But the biggest thing is it has a relatively small human footprint on it. And it's an area that holds significant numbers of wildlife. That is a huge rarity in today's world. So like all protected areas, I think across the world, there are major challenges that they all face in their differing ways. But one that we can't get away from is growing human populations that are encroaching more and more into what was once wildlife habitat. And that brings a magnitude of different issues and challenges, such as human-elephant conflict, human-predator conflict. It's happening every day. To try and find ways for humans and wildlife to coexist, it's not an easy thing, but it's one we have to accept as something we need to find solutions to.
Kitambo, mimi alikuwa adui wa wanyama, sababu wao wanaharibu mali yangu na wananiweka katika hali ya hatari, wanaweza niumiza. Nilikuwa sioni maendeleo yoyote nikiwa na wanyama kabisa. Na wanyama wengine pia kidogo kidogo, lakini ndovu ndio msumbufu zaidi. Kama napanda na kuja na kula hiyo chakula yote, na hapo maisha inakuwa ngumu kabisa, sababu throughout the year kila mwaka nanunua chakula. Naona hiyo gharama kubwa, nachangia, nafanya mambo ingine ya uharibifu wa mazingira, naenda na choma makaa ndio nipate kitu. Ni mbaya, lakini nitakula nini? Na sidi tu kupambana, sheria inakataza, lakini mimi nafanya hiyo manake sina chakula.
Many of the people that live in this area, the Kamungi Conservancy, they've had to resort to natural extraction of natural resources from the local area, and that involves such things as hardwood extraction from the protected area, because in their areas it's already gone. Bushmeat for not just for subsistence but also for selling, and then the more hardcore ivory poachers. You can sort of understand why it's gone to those levels, because of the harshness of this area and just the hard way of life that it is. And that creates an immense amount of uncertainty, and it sort of puts the wildlife as a very negative thing in life. And I might be an avid conservationist, but if I was in their shoes, I'd feel exactly the same. This space, the Tsavo Conservation Area, both protected areas and communal areas, or ranches, they are part of the big picture, and you can't work in conservation in isolation of the communities that border that protected area. It's an absolutely vital partnership that needs to be built on, because at the end of the day, the wildlife will not survive into the long term for our children to see the benefits of if the communities are not brought on board, not just as partners or stakeholders, but invested owners of the greater project. I so firmly believe that. And so that's how this 10% fence plan came about. We were trying to pilot a project whereby I wonder if the local people in this area, if they could farm 10% of their land without any human-wildlife conflict on that 10%, could they make a living or a subsistence living from it? And could it be better in terms of crop yields as trying to farm 100% of their land, but with this major element of human-wildlife conflict? And we trialled a pilot project with Tofauti to properly fence off 10% of an individual's land, keeps out everything, from elephant all the way down to a dik-dik. And since that pilot project started, been no breaches, none whatsoever. And the people that were chosen as that pilot 10% fence plan, their yields increased many hundredfold by just intensely farming 10% of their land and allowing the rest to go to fallow. Various trainings have taken place, agricultural expertise on soil sampling, water sampling, with the idea of trying to look at innovative, different ways of growing food. Simple and plain as that. The main goal was, can a homestead grow enough subsistence food on 20 litres of water a day?
Nalima vizuri na sina wasiwasi, lakini mbeleni nilikuwa nalima hata kidogo, sababu nikilima mingi hasara kubwa. Chakula yangu navuna 100%. Imeenda juu kama mwaka huu. Kama mvua ingenyesha vizuri, ningepata mara 3 ya hapo awali. Lakini sasa nimeona iko faida ya wanyama kabisa, manake kama ile shida yote nilikuwa nayo imeweza kuondolewa na wanyama. Mwenye amenisaidia ni sababu ya wale wanyama nachukia. Mimi nikapandirisha roho yangu, nikapenda wanyama.
This 10% fence plan and genuine partnerships has offered a glimmer of hope. Actually, not just a glimmer, it's offered a very bright light of hope, and they would never have thought or believed that that hope would come off the back of wildlife conservation, because it has always been such a huge negative in their life. And so we, Tsavo Trust and our partners, we take that as a huge positive. That the local communities can now turn around and say, actually, wildlife can bring benefits, and there's proof of that now.